for us to temporarily step down the first order of the day for the simple reason that the committee is putting dots and crossing the T's. I so move that we step down first order of the day. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, I write to second the motion as moved by Senate Leader. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. May proceed, Leader.
Distinguished colleague, the second order of the day is presentation and consideration of report of committees on petroleum upstream, downstream, and gas on the confirmation of nominee of the following person as listed in the order paper for appointment as Chief Executive for Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority and the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission. Mr. President, you may wish to invite Senator Kawu Suleiman Abdurrahman, Chairman of Committee, to move the motion for presentation and consideration of the reports.
Let me at this stage call on the chairman, Senator Kawu Sumaila, to proceed to move the motion that the Senate do receive and consider report as stated by the majority leader. That is the report on committees on petroleum, upstream, downstream, and gas on the confirmation of the nomination of the person so mentioned. I therefore yield the floor to Senator Kawu Sumaila, Chairman of the Senate Committee or of the Joint Committee, to proceed with the report. To move the motion. Sorry.
Mr. President, my dear distinguished and respected colleagues, I am Suleiman Abdurrahman Kawu Sumaila, OFR, representing Kano South Senatorial District, the Chairman, Senate Committee on Petroleum, Downstream, and of course, the lead Chairman of the Joint Committee to screen the nominee. Mr. President, the report is ready. I am
let me now copy the
House to come a lady.
So let me get a seconder. Senator Oluranti Adebule, can you second the motion?
Presidency, the Senate President, I rise to support the motion ably moved by Senator Kawu, the report of the Senate Joint Committee on Downstream Petroleum Sector, Petroleum Resources Upstream, and Gas on the screening for confirmation of appointment of the Commission be laid. Thank you, Mr. President.
Those in favor of the motion moved by Senator Kawu Sumaila, the Chairman of the Joint Committee, and seconded by Senator Adebule Idiat, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Senator Kawu Sumaila, Chairman, Committee on Downstream, and the Chairman of the Joint Committee, you may proceed to present your report. Brother. You may proceed.
Mr. President, my dear distinguished colleagues, once again, I am Suleiman Abdurrahman Kawu Sumaila, OFR, representing Kano South Senatorial District from Kano. Mr. President, it is a report on the screening for the confirmation of the appointment of the Commission's Chief Executive of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Commission and the Authority Chief Executive of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. The introduction or overview of our report. The Senate, if we may recall, the Senate at its sitting on 18th December 2025 considered the request of Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief of the Army Forces of the Federation on the confirmation for the appointment of Asian as Commission Chief Executive, Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, and Engineer Saidu Ali Mohammed as the Authority Chief Executive, Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, and thereafter refer to the committees on downstream petroleum sector, upstream petroleum sector, gas for further legislative action. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, Section 4 and Section 29 of the Petroleum Industrial Act 2021 establish the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission and Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, respectively, specifying their various responsibilities, while Section 11, Subsection 3, and Section 34, Subsection 3 of the same Act empowers the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Army Forces of the Federation to make appointments into the board of NUPRC and the NMDPRA, respectively, subject to the confirmation of the Senate for the period of 5 years, and may be reappointed for further term of 5 years if Mr. President wish. The members of the Joint Committee attended.
Chairman, you may just go, since we have the report with us, you can just go to recommendation because of time.
Okay.
Go to recommendation.
Okay. Therefore, we met yesterday as directed by the chair, and all the members of the Joint Committee, 3 committees, are present. They asked questions, and we have a serious engagement, interactive session before in the public. And later on, the committee come up with some recommendation. The Joint Committee, having screened the nominee and satisfied with their qualification, expertise, and respond to the various questions asked, hereby recommend that the Senate do confirm the nomination of Orishe Yua Aishan as the Commission Chief Executive of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, and confirm the nomination of Engineer Saidu Ali Mohammed as the Authority Chief Executive of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Agency. Then, at the conclusion, the Joint Committee wish to sincerely express its appreciation to the leadership of the Senate and indeed the entire Senate for the opportunity given in this capacity. And furthermore, as a committee, I really appreciate and congratulate the nominees and thank Mr. President for his opposite nomination. Therefore, I so submit and give the overview of our engagement with the nominees yesterday. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, my dear, distinguished, and respected colleague for the well-done job yesterday. Thank you. I so submit.
Thank you. Without much ado, maybe Chief, you want to... Okay, can we then move that the Senate resolve to the Committee of the Whole to consider report? It's very straightforward.
Mr. President, distinguished colleague, I stand to move that the committee resolve into Committee of Whole to consider the report. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Mr. President, I write to second the motion move that the Senate resolve the committee of whole to consider the report submitted. I so second.
Those in support of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Approval. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Engineer Saidu Mohammed for appointment as Chief Executive of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Ori Semeyiwa Amanoriseo Eyesan for appointment as Chief Executive of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The Leader of the Senate, can you now move a motion for the Senate to revert to plenary to report progress?
Mr. Senate President, I stand to move a motion that we revert to plenary for Mr. President to report progress.
Minority Leader.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, I stand to support the motion that the Senate refer back to plenary for chair to report progress. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Report. The Senate in the Committee of the Whole consider the report of the Joint Committee on Petroleum Upstream, Downstream and Gas on the screening of Mr. President's nominee for appointment as Chief Executives for the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority and the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, and approve the following, and approve the nomination of 1. Engineer Saidu Aliyu Mohammed, Authority Chief Executive, Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. Ori Semeyiwa Amanorise or Amanorise Eyesan, Commission Chief Executive, Nigerian Upstream Regulatory Commission, as Chief Executives for Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority and the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Confirmation. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Engineer Saidu Mohammed for appointment as Chief Executive of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Engineer Saidu Mohammed is hereby confirmed as Chief Executive of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Ori Semeyiwa Amano Risaiwo and yes, sir, for appointment as Chief Executive of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The nomination of Ori Semeyiwa Amano Risaiwo Eyesan is hereby confirmed as Chief Executive of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission. Let me commend the Joint Committee of Petroleum Committee of the Senate downstream and upstream and gas, headed by Senator Suleiman Kausumela, for a job well done. The confirmation and the screening was referred to the committee just yesterday, but they had a sleepless night. They had a tight, space of time through which they were able to do what they are supposed to have been done in 1 week or two. They've shown their determination to work for the Senate and indeed the entire country. The Senate is appreciative of what you've done, and we are really proud of you. Mr. Chairman, Councilman, I please extend the Senate's appreciation to the members of your committee. Thank you, and we are really proud of you. And the Senate also congratulate the two confirmed nominees. And what the president has done is to call them to serve our nation. They should do their best in carrying out their duties so as to do the best for the entities they have been appointed to head, in the way that the interests of those entities will be served and the interests of Nigeria will also be served in the most appropriate manner. It is called to serve our nation, and we hope that they'll do their best to serve the interests of our country through these two appointments. Once again, congratulations to all of them.
Point of order. No, he thought I'm joking. Point of order.
Before that, okay, let me also commend Mr. President for the swift action he had taken in order to not to allow a vacuum to be created with the resignation of those who were in that office. The president acted, in the most appropriate manner to appoint these two confirmed nominees, which shows that the president is up and doing his duty as the president of this country. We are proud of him, and the Senate is fully supportive of all what he's doing to bring prosperity to our nation. Chairman, Senate Committee on Finance. You want to tell us something?
Excellency, my name is Mohammed Sani Musa, representing Niger East. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, I want to come under Order 1B.
Order 1B, yes.
In all cases not provided for in this standing order, or by sessional or other orders or practice of the Senate shall by resolution regulate its procedure.
Senator Sani Musa made me to explain the fact that there are some aspects of the parameters that enter was predicated or is predicated, and in their findings of they were able to discover that there are some adjustments that should be made, and we feel at this stage it's better to do that at this stage so that the budget that we presented will be predicated on very sound and of sound data that will allow for the actualism of the budget when eventually passed. So it's on this note that if the Senate I want to seek the indulgence of the Senate through a vote in order to allow him to bring forward what he wants to do in this regard. Those in favor that we allow or that want me to be invoked in order to allow him to bring an amendment to these parameters, please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. You may continue.
Mr. President, after we passed the MTEF, we realized that the computation in terms of revenue collection, our lending, and then the deficits will not balance up. So what we have agreed with the budget office and the economic team is that we are going to adopt the parameters as submitted by Mr. President, and the budget will be predicated based on that. So we want to lay it and passed. So we'll
I think what you need to do, state where you have, you need the amendment.
Yeah, the amendment is on the oil price benchmark.
So now you now say it out, and the Senate will then give its note, or otherwise.
But we have to settle the cost of printing.
I think you need to read where you want the amendment to be effected. And when you do that, then the Senate will listen to it, to what you want to say. And if the Senate gives its note to that amendment, and then we'll put to vote, and then we'll move forward. And then the Secretariat will also note that and get the entire thing effected in the entire document.
So, Mr. President, the only amendment is to the oil price benchmark. While we passed $60 per barrel, we have cause to change it now to $64.85 per barrel for 2026 proposal. For 2027, from 60 to $64.85 per barrel, and in 2027 will be $64.3, and in 2028 will be $65.5. That is the amendment. Yes.
So you've had the amendment. Those in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. The amendment now stands, and the MTEPS is hereby amended in that respect.
Yes.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, we have some urgent matters of public importance that we need to discuss at a closed-door session. So I'm rising to move that the Senate goes into a closed-door session to enable us to do some house clearing. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Mr. President, I rise to second the motion that we dissolve to closed session to discuss a matter of public importance. I so second.
Those in favor, please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Please, let's quickly move and have this closed session because of time for prayers. We pray here in the National Assembly most by 1:30. So we have barely 29 minutes to do this. Please. Please.